Flashback.
It's sad that we have to lose In-N-Out, and not only this business, but many businesses throughout this area.
Never has a burger tasted so bittersweet. It's closing day for In-N-Out Burger off of I-880 in Oakland, the first time the chain has ever shut down a restaurant for good. Thank you for joining us. I'm J.R. Stone. Oakland leaders say their efforts to bring down crime in the Hagenberger corridor are working, but it was not enough to convince In-N-Out to stay. ABC 7 News reporter Cornell Bernard stopped by the drive-through line today, talking to customers and city leaders about what losing this business means for their community.
Everyone has their go-to favorite at In-N-Out. It's the last time those cravings can be satisfied at this In-N-Out location off Hagenberger Road in Oakland. It's closing for good.
I knew it was the last day today to come out. I know this is the first one to ever close in its history. So I wanted to come out and show some support.
I grew up coming here since I was little, so we thought we'd come to get our last burger at this place.
This restaurant opened in 2005, but ongoing crime on the property and in the neighborhood left the burger chain making the tough call to close over safety concerns. Warning signs to customers are everywhere.
Yeah, it's just really sad because this is a spot where a lot of teenagers would come have their first job. This was my first job ever.
Clarissa says she worked here for 3 years and never felt unsafe, but others did.
A lot of people who aren't from here, I feel like they do feel a little bit more unsafe because they know that they can't break your window.
The robbery around here is like really bad.
This sign in the parking lot telling In-N-Out customers goodbye.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, if y'all have followed this channel for some time, you know that I am a Bay Area kid. Born, bred, and raised. But the city of Oakland, right smack dab in the middle of the Bay, has gone through so many problems in recent times that it makes those of us who are from the area feel some kind of way about the town. We used to have so much admiration for the city. It was such an iconic place. But in recent times, y'all have lost the Warriors. Y'all have lost the A's. Y'all have lost the Raiders. But most of all, y'all have lost control of the streets where crime has taken over, especially in that Hagenberger corridor where all the businesses have left. Y'all have lost Denny's. Y'all have lost Walmart. Y'all have lost Starbucks. Y'all have lost In-N-Out, the only In-N-Out chain store to be shut down, even though it was profitable. Y'all, they was making money and they still shut it down because the situation was too dire in that Hagenberger corridor. Just like you lost the A's, who now play in Sacramento, just like you lost the Warriors, who now play in San Francisco, just like you lost the Raiders, who now play in Las Vegas. Y'all have lost In-N-Out. Well, we reported on that story months ago when you lost it, one of the 2024 highlights. But the owner is now stating her case. She's now speaking out. She got something to say about the whole situation. She was making money there, but the money wasn't worth it.
How do you decide on growth? I mean, you have over 400 restaurants, and I know you just had to shut down one in Oakland, which I'm going to guess why, but I'm going to let you make a remark. But how do you make these decisions, whether to grow or to shut a store down?
It was just absolutely dangerous. There was, out of 365 days, I think almost 300 days, there was some type of event, some type of thing
in
happening.
Oakland.
In Oakland, yeah.
Like what, robberies or violence?
Car burglaries, violence, fights, theft, you name it. I mean, there was a lot. There was actually gunshot went through the store. There's the stabbing. There was a lot. It was
and
really
you've
bad.
never shut a restaurant down before.
No.
And so this must have been pretty
huge.
Hard.
It was huge. But we, for the safety of our associates, we just felt like this is not okay, So, and the amount of time it would take for the police to get there too was alarming. So
some people think just because Shing Tao, the mayor of Oakland, lost in a recall and has now been officially recalled as the mayor of Oakland, they think that things are going to get better. Not necessarily, y'all. Oakland has a history of mismanagement downtown at City Hall. Oakland has a history of choosing people to run that city that run it into the ground. No, this didn't happen overnight, but here we are. And crime is out of control. And what does the city want to do as soon as they find themselves over budget? At a budget deficit, what do? They want to cut fire services. They want to cut police services. They don't want to cut the mayor's salary, though. No, nobody wants to give up their salary down at City Hall. But they want taxpayers to suffer in the neighborhoods when you got burned out cars in the intersections that sit there for weeks at a time because the police can't get to it. The city can't get to it to tow it. But a couple weeks ago, there was a sideshow right in front of your house and they set the car on fire because it was a stole anyway. And this burned out car just sits there and you get up and try to go to work every morning. You got to drive around stolen vehicle because the city ain't got it out the intersection. Y'all, Oakland looked like a burnt match. I saw a video just the other day. It detailed the worst high schools in California. Out of the worst 20 schools, 10 of them were in the Bay Area. And most of those 10 were in Oakland. Oakland High. McClimates. Skyline. I was surprised, y'all. Skyline, one of the worst schools in California now? Wow. Time brings about a change, does it not? Oakland is in turmoil. Not because of the people, because of the management. Down there at City Hall, they're not doing the right thing. Officers are leaving because they're not supported when they're out trying to police these crazy neighborhoods. Crime is out of control, and you got folks that will just, you can't park your car on the street. They'll steal your car. They'll take your car that they stole and they'll run it into a building. Run it right through the plate glass. Go off in there and steal candy bars and cigarettes. Why? Because they don't own nothing. They've never had anything. They ain't got nothing to lose. So they will destroy $50,000 worth of vehicle, worth of plate glass, worth of brick and mortar construction. They will drive right through it for $20 worth of cigarettes and a couple candy bars.
Frustrated. And that's how an Oakland business owner is feeling tonight after thieves rammed a car right into his store.
The crime comes just as the holidays approach and cause serious damage worth more than the cost of what was taken. NBC Bay Area's Christy Smith has more.
Yesterday, it happened at 6:30 in the morning.
Ali Albasari is dealing with the aftermath of what happened at his store in Oakland.
So they come in, they ramp the car to the roll-up doors to the front of the business. They tear up the front. They go inside and they just take things out of there that's not even worth it. The damage they caused.
He estimates the damage at 4M Foods to be about $30,000 to $35,000. That hit is much more than the cost of what thieves took.
I mean, they took cigarettes, they took the cash register, they took some candy bars, they took all kinds of stuff. That was the medicines.
The store is on MacArthur Boulevard and it has a real purpose in the neighborhood.
Took a community small grocery store that caters to the neighborhood. We have produce, groceries.
He says police came hours later and made a report. Oakland police confirmed they're investigating the burglary. Officers checked the business, but the suspects took off.
And as the president of the small Bay Area Merchant Chamber of Commerce, I've been getting all these complaints and all this.
Say is bold, rampant crime that isn't being addressed. In that same plaza in November, this scene where thieves rammed a car into the storefront of a family-owned tobacco shop before making off with stolen goods. Concrete barriers, thanks in part to Chian, now sit in front of the shop. It's a familiar tactic in the neighborhood.
They ran a Jeep Wrangler into our buildings, stole quite a bit of equipment and monies.
Since that September break-in, Bruce Vong installed this $8,000 barricade, and how much was this gate?
$16,000.
The city just approved a plan this week to try to fill a $129 million hole in its budget, but that includes canceling 2 police academies, which OPD says will reduce its officer staffing levels, as well as slash police overtime, which the police union says will only increase crime.
I've been here over 43, 44 years. The city is chaos right now. We need help.
So we begin tonight in Oakland, where multiple businesses were burglarized over the weekend. Criminals have been using cars to ram into them in order to steal things like ATMs.
KTVU's Amanda Quintana is here. Amanda, what more are you learning about this string of burglaries?
Well, we know that at least a handful happened in the early morning hours yesterday, and they're reportedly all linked to the same group of criminals. Mr. Crispy Professional Barbershop is just one of the places that was hit. Surveillance cameras caught the moment a van backed up right into Mr. Crispy's barbershop.
They rammed it and came right in.
The criminals go straight for the ATM in the back corner, push it outside, load it into the trunk of a second car, and take off. It all took less than 2 minutes.
Near the vehicle had license plates, they had masks and was covered up.
The owner, Donald Smith, known as Mr. Crispy, showed up for work soon after.
When I pulled up, I saw the whole front of this was wide open. And it was unbelievable.
Despite the damage to the window, equipment, and a hole that looks right into the nail shop next door, he's most disappointed in the police response.
You know, people got families to feed, so it's just very depressing that they could at least showed up and, you know, sent somebody.
Eventually, a client was able to wave down an officer who just happened to be stopped at the intersection outside, but that was more than 8 hours after they called 911.
This was just super ridiculous that they just left all of us here stranded all these hours. And, you know, just to talk about it, you know, it's just, it hurts for that reason. Like, what about us? We paying taxes, you know, providing services for the community.
And there you have it, y'all. Crime is out of control in the city of Oakland, and it looks like the taxpayers may have had enough by voting out the current mayor. We'll see what is to come, because these blue cities seem like they are kind of stubborn and don't want to turn around. They get what they vote for repeatedly. And I find it hard in that case to feel sorry for them. If you want different, vote different. The power is in the hands of the people, but y'all have allowed these things to fester for so long that your tax base is leaving. Your businesses are leaving. You will be left to your own devices. That means the citizenry, as they continue to pull back on police services, fire services. What you gonna do when you're out there on your own? Well, there are examples in other places around the country, and I'll cover that later in another video, but some places don't stand for this kind of foolishness. It's these blue cities in a blue state like mine that make its citizenry suffer because the management opts to protect these people, not only these degenerates, but the drug addicts that roam the street. They call them homeless, but they're not really homeless. They're drug addicts. And the migrants that aren't really migrants, they're illegal aliens. Y'all vote to protect all of this stuff. And then you want to act surprised when things go left. No, we always knew it would go left. We just had to wait for y'all to see it. And now that it's affecting you and you can't go and get an In-N-Out burger, you got to drive 45 minutes down the freeway just to go to Walmart. There are no grocery stores in your hood. Everybody done left you to your own devices. Now you want to scream and holler and say, oh, why are y'all doing me so wrong? Well, if you want different, vote different. And maybe, just maybe, if you can turn that thing around, maybe you'll get another professional basketball team. Maybe you'll get another professional baseball team. Maybe one day you'll get another professional football team. But from where I sit, just outside the Bay these days, it's looking quite unlikely. May God save Oakland is our prayer, because it definitely cannot save itself. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts on Oakland, California, being driven into the dirt by its management and its own voter base. Crime is out of control. And it seems like no one can fix it because the Crime Stoppers are pulling back services. Oh my God. Y'all don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.